What's up, everybody? My name is Zach Pasquarello, and I teach you how to start a bookkeeping business in less than 30 days with no experience. And in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly what to do as soon as you get a client, how to quote them, how to send them an invoice, how to send them their client agreement, how to tell them about your quote. I'm going to show you step by step everything you need to know. And this is actually kind of a follow-up video from yesterday's video. Yesterday's video, I talk all about how to accept different types of payment with a payment processor, and also I go into more detail yesterday in how to quote people and how to charge people for your bookkeeping services. I will link yesterday's video in the description below. If you haven't watched that video, I recommend watch that video after you watch this one. Okay, so first of all, you need to get a client in order to give them a quote, and getting a client, I talk about that in a ton of my videos. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel because I am posting new videos every day teaching you how to start your own bookkeeping business. And if you need more help, there's a link in the description of this video. You can schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. I would love to mentor you and teach you and coach you how to start your own bookkeeping business the exact same way I did 3 years ago. Okay, so first of all, you need to implement a marketing strategy, and then you need to work on sales. And I'm not going to talk about marketing or sales in this video because I have already made a ton of other videos talking about marketing and talking about sales. And then I also have a sales pitch script on my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. Go there. You can download my sales pitch script. I highly recommend you use that for your next sales call. Okay, so let's just pretend that you've already implemented your marketing strategy. You've already started selling to potential clients. You've already had your sales call, and now you've been invited to their QuickBooks, and now you need to give them a quote for your bookkeeping services. So I always recommend a fixed monthly rate. Like I said, I talk about that in the video I posted yesterday. Real quick, I'll explain. I have a 3-tier system. I charge either $250 a month or $500 a month or $1,000 a month. And it largely depends on the size and complexity of your business. And a lot of people have been asking me, how do you judge the size and complexity of somebody's business? And I'm about to break it down for you exactly how I would do it in real life for a real QuickBooks account. So I'm going to change my screen over right now, and I'm going to go to this QuickBooks account. This is my trucking company. So I'm going to show you how I would quote this trucking company. So I would go, first of all, to reports, and then I will go to the general ledger. Now, for this example, I know that my trucking company went inactive in 2022. But if you are quoting somebody and their business is fully operational, I recommend do the previous 3 months. So right now it's April. So I would do March, February, and January. But for this example, I'm going to do October 1st, 2022 through December 31st. So this is October, November, and December. I need to get 3 months of data. So here is the general ledger. If you don't already know, the general ledger is just a list of every transaction. Now you need to export this. So you can click on this button right here and just click Export to Excel. Now, once you've exported this general ledger, I'm going to show you how to manipulate this document so that it's super simple. I always delete the top here just because it is pretty irrelevant. Now, I'm looking for checking accounts, savings accounts, and credit cards. So here is a checking account, so that's good. I want that checking account. Here is an EFS card, that's like a credit, like a fuel card, so that's good. I want that EFS card. Note receivable, I don't care about that. Accumulated depreciation, I don't care about that. Trailer, don't care about that. Truck 002, don't care about that. So we can delete all those. Here's a credit card, I do care about that. Another credit card, I care about that. Another credit card, so this trucking company has several credit cards. And then everything else, I don't care about. So you can basically just delete everything else. I only care about the checking account, the savings account, and the credit cards. So we can delete all of that. Okay, so now we have basically a long list of transactions. And just real quick, I am going to delete this column right here because we don't need that anymore. We already found all of the checking accounts and credit cards. So now we have a list of transactions. And all you need to do is highlight just one of the columns. We can look down here, 271. So that means there were 271 transactions in the last 3 months. So now we just take 271 divided by 3. So now we know there were 90 transactions per month on average. Now, if you watched my video from yesterday, I recommend that you multiply the number of transactions by 3. So we will take that, multiply it by 3. So $271 is how much I would charge this trucking company for bookkeeping. However, this is where experience plays a role. So just because it has 90 transactions per month, you got to take into consideration that some transactions are more complex than other transactions. Like one journal entry might only show up as one transaction, but maybe there's 10 lines in that journal entry. Maybe you've got assets and liabilities. Maybe you have a ton of checks that you need to look manually. Who did he pay and what was the memo? So different transactions are created differently and treated differently based on the complexity of them. So, for example, for my services, I offer a bare minimum $250 for bookkeeping, and that is reserved for brand new businesses. Now, this trucking company has been in business for 2 years, so it's not brand new. So, I would certainly not charge $250 based on my multiple of 3 transactions equation. I would technically charge this company $271. But because it's a trucking company, because it's 2 years old, I would actually lean more towards $300 or $400 a month. Me personally, since I've been in business for 3 years, I already have a ton of clients. I'm not desperate for new clients. I'm actually looking for higher quality, higher paying clients. I would probably quote this trucking company $400 a month. But if you're brand new, if you don't have any clients, maybe you would want to quote this company $300 a month. And now I'm going to show you one more thing. I recommend, since you have access to their QuickBooks, you can go to their reports and you can look at their profit and loss. So we can just look at the entire year, last year, profit and loss, and we can see how profitable was this company. Okay, this company had $300,000 of revenue, but what were the expenses? So we can see here $332,000 of expenses. So this company, this is my trucking company. This is why I got rid of this trucking company in December, side note. But you can actually see that this trucking company lost $60,000. So they might not be willing to pay you $400 a month because they're already losing money. Or maybe they're going out of business soon. Maybe it's not even worth your time. So you can learn a lot of information from looking at the general ledger, look at the profit and loss statement. You can even look back at their old bookkeeper or their old CPA firm to see how much they were paying them to get a good idea of how much they might be willing to pay you. But if this trucking company was profitable $100,000 or $150,000, I would feel a lot more confident quoting them $400 or $500 a month because they're already so profitable. They probably have some cash flow laying around left over to afford a high quality bookkeeper like yourself. Okay, so that's how you look at their QuickBooks, their general ledger, and their profit and loss to determine exactly how much to quote them. Now, finally, I'm going to show you my email quote. I'm going to show you exactly what I say in my email whenever I give them my quote. Okay, so here is the exact quote, the exact email word for word that I send prospective clients. I make the subject bookkeeping quote and I keep it standard. That way, if I ever need to go back through my emails and search for all of the quotes that I've sent out, I can just search for the term bookkeeping quote and then it'll give me all of the bookkeeping quotes that I've sent all of my prospective clients. Now, I start off by saying, based on the size and complexity of your business, your monthly bookkeeping fee will be $300 a month. And then I tell people my services generally include these 3 things. Categorize your transactions, reconcile your accounts, and generate your P&L. And then I throw in this last little comment just to show them that I prioritize A+ customer service. I tell everybody with these services, you will be completely ready to file your taxes at the end of the year. I finalize all 3 things every month in the first 10 days. That way they know that I'm on top of their bookkeeping, and they will have an updated profit and loss statement in their email every single month. So if you were my client, you would already have your bookkeeping complete through the current month, and you would have a finalized P&L in your inbox. That's all I send people. I send them this quote. Sometimes I might add, please let me know if you would like to proceed, and then they will usually email me and say yes or no. Okay, so that is the email quote. Now we have two more steps. You got to send them a contract and an invoice. I usually do these things simultaneously. So as soon as they respond to my email quote saying yes, then I will say, perfect, thanks. I'm going to send you my client agreement, and I'm going to send you an invoice. And then we can get started. So here is my client agreement, and you can actually go to my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store, and you can download this client agreement. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't have a lawyer draft this up. I have no idea if this contract is legit, but I've been using it for 3 years, so use it if you'd like. I'm not going to go through this whole entire contract. I'm only going to highlight two things. These first two sections here. I identify my accounting services. So you can see here, QuickBooks and chart of accounts, setup, organization, and maintenance, and then categorize all transactions based on the chart of accounts, reconcile, and then produce profit and loss and updated balance sheet. And then I say here the payment, I have this blank because this is just a blank copy, but in here I would say payment. The rate for all services to be performed by accountant will be $300 a month. Client will be invoiced and payment is due immediately. I mentioned there's a 3% convenience fee. And then I also mentioned there's a $35 charge for any return checks, just because that's what the bank charges me. And then finally, I will show you here additional services. So I actually talk about this in the video that I made yesterday. Definitely recommend you check it out at the end of this video. I'll link it in the description below. Additional services requested that are not included in the accounting services will be billed at $70 an hour. That just protects me just in case they ask me to do anything crazy that's not identified up here. I let them know I'm going to charge them extra for it. And then finally, if they want me to travel to or from their office, I will bill them $50 an hour plus 62.5 cents per mile. So this is the client agreement I send them. And then I create the invoice in QuickBooks. I usually send them the client agreement through PandaDoc.com. That way they can electronically sign the document. So I just have here all the way at the bottom. I sign it, they sign it through PandaDoc. I recommend you use an electronic signing software if you don't have one already. So I'll send this client agreement through PandaDoc. I'll create the invoice in my QuickBooks account. I'll email them the invoice. They can mail me a check. They can pay by debit card or credit card. I use Stripe to process payments, or I use QuickBooks to process ACH transfers. I charge 1% for that, 3% for credit cards. So I'll send them the invoice to their email, and then as soon as they sign the client agreement, as soon as they pay the invoice, then I begin. I don't start any services until I receive payment. That way you're not dealing with clients who don't pay you and you've already done a ton of work. I hope this was helpful. Good luck quoting your next client. I hope you get a million clients, and I hope you succeed so much.